Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 7 of our ACC GT3 RaceFace.Pro Championship, proudly brought to you by EG Evolved. I am your host, Cameron de Bastos, and it's great to be back here with you guys and keep you company for what seems to be quite a up-and-coming championship that has quite piqued my interest, even though I haven't been on air for the past 2 weeks. And I apologize for that, but in my continuance or just THT Productions continuous effort to improve the quality of our stream, we've decided to upgrade some of our systems, if you get what I mean, and I can promise you it is absolutely phenomenal. And I hope that I'm able to do a lot more tonight for you as we do get going out there. But I do apologize for a bit of the delay. We had a bit of a wait needing to go on with some of our servers being some problematic issues there, but we are all back up and running, and I'm grateful to be back again and have some good entertainment for you. But while we wait, welcome to Zandvoort, how can one say, the home of 4-time world champion Max Verstappen, as well as opened in 1948. It is renowned as an old school field featuring a narrow layout with 14 demanding corners and significant elevation changes. It's only located 35 kilometers outside of Amsterdam in Zandvoort, Netherlands. Track is 4.259 kilometers long and has 14 corners in total, with a lot of sweeping corners. However, we do not have that fast banking corners. Now, we have spoken about a lot of the key features around here, and that's the 18-degree bank, the final corner, which is not what we have currently around this current circuit. However, it is still quite a phenomenal little track, and I'm pretty sure I've missed some significantly amazing races. But as we do get that sorted, ladies and gentlemen, we have action brewing for us all the way out on circuit, with the likes of qualifying that has just started for our session. Just trying to see what is going on here with our audio side, as we don't seem to be wanting to capture. There we go. Now we got the audio out. Okay. Bit of some issues going around here, but as we see the first drivers going around and finalizing their qualifying laps, let's take a bit of a run through our standings so far as we head into the penultimate round of our ACC GT3 Championship. Leading the way in our AM Gold class, we have Kieran Harris, still holding on strong with only 2 times he hasn't been on the podium. That's round 3 and round 4. Of course, races we both saw that did not go his way. He's leading the championship with 58 points and has a firm grasp on that title, but closely behind we do have the likes of Rick Thomas. Now, Rick Thomas had, from what I've seen and spoken to many of the drivers, and absolutely, that seems to be Pluto. Don't know why I'm speaking of Pluto, but it's one of those things, and we do not argue about it. Very strange, as things are still trying to get sorted around here with Car 65, everything not working as it should. Of course, that's how things will always be. However, going back once again to the points that we have, leading the way is in second place we have Rick Thomas, sitting all the way in second position on 242 points. In third place we've got the other Harris brother on 222 points, so 20 points separating both second and third, Rick Thomas and Andrew Harris. As you look over to the grandstands, we've got supporters all the way for the GSRT team, the Griffin Sim Racing team. Great to have you back here, Rob, after a phenomenal race last night in the LMU Championship. Well done for you on that side. We've got Matty also in the grandstand shouting out his team and supporting them, and then of course David ZA supporting his drivers out here on the grid. So welcome in and thank you all for joining. I am so grateful to have you all joining us here tonight, and I can't wait to have some very good racing going on out on the circuit. As drivers start getting their laps going around, it's quite interesting to see how the drivers have evolved throughout the season. I'm just looking at some of the points that have been scoring here, but in fourth place, funny enough, we have Alexander Everingham. Now, Alexander hasn't had the greatest of starts between the Racing Snails drivers, unfortunately having some issues with them and losing a few amount of points. In fifth place we've got Rudy Fainter. Now, great to see Rudy Fainter out on circuit. I did see him earlier today. He was in the drivers briefing, so quite curious to see where he is, but I'm happy to see that he is currently racing still out there. Let's just confirm here on our timing tower, because I do know that Rudy Fainter, yes, there he is. There is the man. I do see him on our timing tower here. I just need to see, looks like our entire timing tower is a bit going insane, one can say, but it seems to be settling down a bit much easier now. But in first place, Rudy Fainter, having gone and touched a bit on the iRacing side, taking part in a national brawl to crown South Africa's fastest sim racer in the simulators. So it's quite interesting to see how they will be attacking it and how they will be proceeding in an attempt to go around and fight it out. Apologize. There we go. Now it's caught up a little bit there. I think the timing tower just being a bit rusty in terms of getting some of the points or results back around and going again. Now we did speak about Gianluca Palmarosa. Gianluca, of course, one of the members of the father-son duo, going and having to fight it out once again to try and get the better points between the two of them. But we'll see how this goes, as the drivers need to continue fighting out to score the most total amount of points needed for this entire championship. Everyone is going around and setting some blistering lap times. Currently setting the charge is the likes of Kieran Harris. Now Kieran Harris setting a 135.465, matched closely by Alexander Everingham with a 35.780. And then in third place we've got 35.957 all the way from Rick Thomas. So the drivers are absolutely giving it their all, really trying their utmost and best in their attempts to try and dethrone the grasp that Kieran Harris has on this championship, and is hoping to improve as best as they possibly can. But it is still important to note, it is quite a long race. Drivers do need to be very, very careful in how they attack everything. They can't just go and burn the tires. Remember, we are on the coast of Netherlands, so if you just look over some of the sand dunes, you will see that we do have some ocean around here, meaning that it is quite difficult for the drivers to maintain those tires. It is going to be a skill that they need to manage in an attempt to get going for a round. Yeah, with a lot of sand and dust blowing out onto the circuit, the tires will sometimes struggle with grip, and also it's not too hot out there in the grid. There's only a track temperature of 19 degrees compared to 17 degrees for the air temp, so that it is quite nice and cool. We are late in the evening, 6 p.m. Of course, there is summertime, so drivers will not have to worry about sun setting that early. We do have a yellow flag in turn one with the driver pulling off to let the others through. You do see some cheers going on there for car 67. That's Gianluca Palmarosa, currently sitting in fifth, leading the charge for our silver class. Now, you might be asking now, Cam, what about the other classes? What is the standing there in those classes? Well, let me tell you quickly, ladies and gentlemen, it is also quite a close fight. Now, in the 2 weeks that I've been away, it has been action up and down the entire grid, with some interesting moves being made by many of our drivers. Leading our silver category still is Chantal Hansen, the woman on a mission, not making it easy. And I will say this, she might have clinched the championship title already for our silver with a lead of 301 points, sitting in first place. And then only in second place we have Gianluca Palmarosa on 217 points. That is quite a big gap, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be quite difficult for them to make up those points. Unless Chantal Hansen has a very, very bad race, it's not possible. But do note, tonight, because it's a penultimate round, drivers will be scoring double points for fastest lap. So that means 2 points for the fastest lap in both classes. So if Kieran Harris goes in the race and scores the fastest lap, what does that mean? He doesn't get 1 point, he gets 2 points. And same goes for our silver class. So if Chantal Hansen says the fastest lap, she doesn't get 1 point, she gets 2 points. So that will always help them and go forward for that time being. In second place, Gianluca Palmarosa, we did mention that, on 217 points. And in third place, sneaking his way up, is Jason Randall in 192 points, as Kieran Harris gets the car a bit loose there through the flank sector of Zandvoort. Now, this corner normally is very steeply banked in the new circuit. In the one scanned by ACC, unfortunately, it is quite flat as Kieran Harris decides to pull off to the side of the road. And Jim, our cameraman, seems to be a bit slow today. I don't know what's going on there. We'll have to get that a bit sorted on later on before we go, as we do see this drivers having a bit of an issue finding gaps in an attempt to go and get their lap times going. But as the drivers are fighting it out, in fourth place for us AM Silver class, we have Lucas Ube on 118 points. So there's still a 9-point separation between Lucas and Jason for that third place in our AM Silver class. So all is to go for these drivers, and they're able to fight it out. Marcus Fraser is in fifth place, followed closely by Jakob Grissel and Timothy Filliou. Now, many of the drivers, Timothy, I will say, is doing quite well, just keeping it circulating, and that will count in his favor, scoring a lot more points in order to get him boosted up there. Only 2 points separating him and Jean Cloute. Jean Cloute was previously fighting for that 3 positions, but he had 2 DNFs, meaning no points. And I don't think we have drop rounds in this championship, so they will not be able to get those points back. Now, finally, in our final 5 minutes almost after qualifying, leading the way is Kieran Harris for our AM Gold class. And in second place, we have Rick Thomas, followed closely by Alexander Everingham. In first place of our AM Silver class, though, we've got Gianluca Palmarosa holding the flag high for the AM Silver class. And then all the way down in 13th, that is the only time that we will be able to see another AM Silver driver. Take a look at this. Jean Cloute, all the way in 13th place with a time of 137.39. And then all the way in third place, the other Palmarosa, Alan Palmarosa, sitting in 14th position, but third overall in class. And look at this, Chantal Hansen all the way down in, what's this, sixth place in class. So she has to do a lot of work in an attempt to improve and how she fights back up, but she does probably know in her mind she has won the championship. From my calculations and by everything going on there, the drivers only win about, in first position, only score 50 points. She's already 50 points above that. So Jean-Luc can score 50 points, can win his class. However, it will not be enough to dethrone Chantal Hansen from the top spot. Yes, it does put pressure going into the final round, but it does also make it a bit easier for her to manage it going forward from there. So it's close battles up and down the entire grid, and I'm quite curious to see who everyone is supporting. As I look to the virtual grandstand, we see many drivers supporting car number 67, and then also, of course, car number 420. That, of course, will be Kieran Harris going out and supporting him there, and all families out there. 777 also getting a huge shout out there for the likes of Jacobus van der Walt of Rabbit Raccoon Racing, currently sitting pretty in 8th position there, making himself feel known. And then, of course, for car 46, Alan Palmarosa, love going out for both Palmarosa drivers out there, father and son. So well done for them. And good to see some fans making it their way to the virtual grandstand there. So really, really great to see many, many drivers out there. It's great to see some names all the way from the back of the pack going forward. And it's great to see it because it does show that the drivers are developing, they're improving, they're developing their skills and understanding the car that they have underneath them. Many drivers, they normally gel with the car and they prefer to go for, what you say, the meta car out there in an attempt to go and get the strongest performance. However, we do use the LFM BOP. So what is a BOP? Balance of performance. It is a system implemented to go and improve the fighting close to one another in an attempt to ensure that good racing gets ensured. And so far we've had some very good racing, and it all goes to show for how close the championship battle is. So we were to go for the meta car, it does not matter. It's how you drive the car, it's how you understand the car and how you connect with the car in an attempt to go out and get it much more sorted. Going into the final 2 minutes of the qualifying, Kieran Harris is still leading the charge with a phenomenal work going on there. So well done to him for holding on to the race on the flag there. But Rick Thomas in second place now after getting a bit of a slipstream of extreme sim racing, going and running wide again. The McLaren being a bit of a handful. It's a very long flat car. Needs to be careful of his rejoin as Rudy Fainter is close by. Now Rudy Fainter, I did mention earlier, he took a shot out and went out to join our racing side in the A4s as well as GT3s to throw in his hat at being one of Africa's fastest sim racers on iRacing, brought to you by a lot of other sim racers, well, the other sim racing communities. And he contacted me actually last night, not knowing if he will be able to race because his computer is giving him some issues. However, he seems to have fixed it, and it's great to see him out on the circuit. I love to see that he's out on the circuit. And great to see them going out and racing it more and more. So really, really happy for that. And to see the driver still fighting it out there. And in all honesty, I am quite happy to see many, many drivers going and just people in virtual grandstand eager to go out and fight it out there. As we check into the final 30 seconds of our qualifying though, Kieran Harris is sitting pretty all the way at the top with a 135.407. That is not the one I was looking for. There is the car that I was looking for. Then we have Rick Thomas sitting in second place with a 135.427. Only 2/100ths of a second separating the two of them. And I will tell you in the sectors where this difference is the biggest. All the way in sector time, it does look like Rick Thomas is better, but somewhere maybe not have a good drive out of the corner, and it does drop him a bit down even more. So we're going to see how this goes and see how it goes as we do have the final timers going out there, drivers getting the final times in as we all get ready to head on over to our, well, to the seventh round of our ACC GT3 Championship, proudly brought to you by RaceFace.Pro, sponsored by EG Evolved. Kieran now slowing down there after putting quite a good lap there, but it's 1 minute 40 left on the clock. Drivers who are currently out on a flying lap will be able to complete their time. The one that we were supposed to be looking at, unfortunately, said enough's enough and not going to be finishing his lap. Ruan Skoll still out on the circuit, hoping to go and get his lap time up and running, but we will see how this goes. He's still flying around there and just crossing the line and wrapping up his qualifying. Donovan Leah, another driver still out on circuit, however not able to improve on his lap time. Ooh, probably in the pits, unfortunately not working out in his favor. Andrew Harris still out on the circuit, hoping to improve his lap time. Not able to really go forward from that point in time. So drivers have a lot to do for themselves as they get themselves sorted now for the round 7, the start of round 7 of our race, and they need to go and just get focused on that point of view. It's going to be quite difficult for them to go for that. And if you guys in the virtual grandstand think that I don't follow the meme that you guys are trying to reenact, you don't have to worry. I do get the meme. I might be old, but I am not that old, and I will not be falling for that little trick. So drivers are getting ready to go onto the grid. Our timing tower has finally gone and get themselves sorted and ready to go out onto the grid, as we have about 1 minute 40 to go out before drivers have green flag racing going around the circuit. Let's take a run through our starting grid to see how it's going to go, how it is going to look at the start of our pack. Leading the charge is Kieran Harris in car 420, setting pole once again and making it a habit for himself. And then right next to him, Rick Thomas, his arch nemesis for this fight. Now Rick Thomas, an old Pandassi driver, going and joining Extreme Sim Racing, hoping to make a name for himself and definitely finding home within that McLaren 720S Evo. In third place, we have the Mercedes of Dani Bosch. Dani, having had a bit of abysmal results the past couple of races, not able to really perform where he wanted to be, going now and sticking the car in a very, very good position. And finally, in fourth place, we have Alexander Everingham lining up as part of his racing snail outfit, but also hoping to provide a bit of support for Kieran Harris starting on pole position. And in 5th place, we have brother of Kieran Harris, Andrew Harris, also hoping to get some good points going forward for this championship fight. In 6th position, we have Gianluca Palmarosa, which is our leading AM Silver driver currently on the grid, but not in the championship fight. He is about 90 points behind Chantal Hansen, who lines up in 2nd place of our AM Silver class, but 9th place overall. In 7th position, we got Volley Negrini of Negrini Motorsports, hoping to fight his way back up to the front of the pack. In 8th position, we got Jacobus van der Walt of Rabbit Raccoon Racing, hoping to keep going and showing some good form in the Ford Mustang GT3. In 9th place, Chantal Hansen, our leading in the championship AM Silver driver, and then 2nd out on the circuit. She has her hands full in an attempt to go and clinch this championship battle. Drivers are currently rolling away as they go and get the tires warming out there. And I'll tell you a bit now about the weaving that the drivers are doing. In 5th place, we've got Leon Swan. After a bit of a paddle shifter issue at Laguna, he is fighting his way up in an all-black Lamborghini. I must say, absolutely love it. Absolutely fantastic. In 5th place, Alvin Prim, hoping to make some moves there. And then in 12th place, 3rd place of our AB Silver class, Alan Palmarosa, father of Gianluca Palmarosa, hoping to make a Palmarosa podium lockout even after 2 steps if possible. In 3rd place, we've got Chris Krief, followed by Jean Klutter, who is 4th place of our AM Silvers and hoping to make some moves going up further. Rudy Fainter, all the way up in 15th, hoping to fight his way back after not having much practice time this week after rebuilding his entire computer and also taking part in another simulator. In 6th position, we've got Dylan Bragi. This is a new name I do not believe I've seen before, so welcome Dylan, and I'm hoping you're enjoying your time racing with us. In 7th position, we've got Jason Randall, followed by Donovan Leah, who took a spin at racing a 4s and got comfortable with it quite soon. Then in 19th position, we've got Marcus Fraser, followed by Timothy Fourion, also jumping out into different simulators. 21st position, we've got Jean-Luc Lucas Hubert, coming all the way from LMU last night and fighting in ACC, saying he's more comfortable with the ACC compared to LMU. 22nd place, we've got Ron van der Westhuizen in the BMW, hoping to find his way up there. 23rd position, we've got Keanu Westhuizen, a name I'm not quite 100% sure. I believe he is also brand new, and I'm great to see many drivers joining us out tonight. 24th position, we've got Jaco Grissel, hoping to fight his way back up once again and see what he can do in an attempt to make some much better moves. In 25th position, we've got Ruan Scholes in the Bentley, hoping to take the Boatley up all the way to the top in his class to score some good value points. 26th position, we've got Paul LaRue, followed by Fani Villiers, hoping to go and both score some very good points. And running out our pack of 28 cars, Matt Myberg, having shown phenomenal pace earlier, now hoping to recover some of that. So we will definitely have to see how this is going to go. Now back at the front, we do see, going through the chicane, we've got Kieran Harris, and close by we do have the twins, well not twins, the 2 cars of Rick Thomas and Donnie Bosch. Now just exiting this, not yet the chicane, coming out of the second hairpin inside the infield. Drivers are now going and weaving. Now, we talked earlier about the weaving. Here's a little thing, weaving doesn't do much for these cars. Yes, you generate heat through the carcass of the tires, but it doesn't really hold. Heat is best generated through braking, which you are exactly seeing right now. Excellent show there as the drivers are going around. This is the final corner, going around the front stretch. So braking generates that heat on the brake pads and the brake disc that radiates through the rim and goes and sticks into the tires. And now then also there's brake boosting helps build that pressure. If you watch F1, that's what they're doing, but this is more of a rolling start, so much easier to maintain it. And here we go, 70 kilometers an hour, no one faster, no one slower. Kieran Harris backing up the pack, Rick Thomas eager to go, waiting for Tim to drop the green flag, and there we go, green. We go racing for round 7 of our RaceFace ACC Championship here in Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Kieran Harris not hanging around, but Rick Thomas also not sticking around the outside. Of course, the banking not as strong, but unfortunately losing position all the way to Alexander Everingham, but fighting back hard through the twisties. Donnie Bosch sticking it out and not allowing anything to go out there. Further back, we do seem to have a bit of contact between car number 217 and 94. 94, of course, being Chantal Hansen and Leon Swan, both of them having shared some braking and painting earlier on before. As the drivers go for the first time through our timing session, they are all busy getting their times sorted. Now, Chantal Hansen, shocker, ladies and gentlemen. Chantal Hansen into the pits. What has happened for this? Let's see if we can get a quick look back and see what has happened. Oh, Leon Swan, unfortunately, that has put a massive dash in the hopes of Chantal Hansen's championship. She's got a good buffer. However, it does mean that the championship fight will go all the way till the very, very end unless she's able to score some points. This is not what she would have wanted at all for Zandvoort. She did mention to me earlier that she absolutely despises the circuit and not what she would have wanted to do. Now, Leon Swan getting off a bit easier there. I actually want to see if we can get a bit more. Unfortunately, not being able to get a bit more information there. This is still part of the replay, I believe. No, this is actually back to our live images. So Leon Swan, not what he would have wanted, unfortunately, and that has tumbled Chantal Hansen all the way down to the back of the grid. Also in the pits is Fanny Feliz having get a massive smash there. Just take a look at the front of that nose there. Some damage there, unfortunately, and it's not what we would have wanted to see. Absolutely gut-wrenching for the drivers out there. Currently, our best session lap is currently held by none other than Kieran Harris, 420, setting the fastest lap of 1 minute 38.0. So hoping she's able to go there. Now, I do know that Jean-Luc Palmarosa has good fans, but we do love some good sportsmanship between both fans as well as the drivers out there. So we do hope that Chantal Hansen is able to get the car up and running and out there. She's going to be a very long pit for the drivers, so she will be a bit stuck there and needs to go there. Chris Streff, all the way starting from the pit box, now able to go and just continue rolling. As we do follow Kieran Harris around the first inside, the first half of the circuit here, he's heading out towards the chicane, and as we get across the final run through that final corner, I say we do a bit of a jump on board, but this time it will be inside the cockpit to see just what the driver is fighting with and how he is managing that car. This is a very small circuit, short circuit, very tricky to run, not one of the shortest, but definitely something to note. But let's jump on board and see how he manages this. Absolutely phenomenal stuff as the driver is fighting his way across the circuit in an attempt to get this car controlling. I'm just looking at the little bit of an infield section, how he had to just slow the car down to get it to turn. Now, I've been in this sport for about almost 7-ish years, coming up to 6 years, so sorry. The drivers, and having driven many of these cars already on circuit, from the Lamborghini, not the Huracan Evo 2, but the original Huracan Evo, and the McLaren, as well as the 296, the BMW, and the Ford, as well as the AMG. One thing that I do say that's prominent towards me is the way the driver in the Ford sits. I mean, compare that towards Rick Thomas sitting in his little helmet cameo. He sits quite high. He sits high in an attempt to get just a bit of a better view. I see what you're doing there, Claudio. I'm not going to fall for that, but it's actually quite funny. In 2020 was my first entry into sim racing, and here I am bringing the sport and our talentful drivers all the way to your living room. But taking back here, how these drivers are sitting, it's quite an interesting view. How the difference between these high, the bonnet of the Mustang goes and just blocks the cars, well, not entirely, just the view of the car. It's quite high, so drivers need to adjust it themselves to get it right there. But the bonnet of that Mustang is so big, you feel like you are literally peeking over that dash in an attempt to see where the nose of the car is, where your apex is. You have to just trust the car to turn you. Where the McLaren, you're sitting quite high up, you don't have to sit as far up going up there. But Kieran Harris goes and sets yet once again another blistering lap time of 35.6. Now these cars are still on heavy fuel, they do need to go, but the front three have broken away and formed their own pack. And there in the back we do have Donny Bosch going and having his own little fight between our Racing Snails drivers, Andrew Harris and Gianluca Palmarosa. Now Gianluca is not part of the Racing Snails main team, but he's in their developing team, so he's part of the academy side. So he's busy going and learning, but putting up a good fight by taking on the rivals within, well, not rivals, his teammates in the bigger, higher up teams. And all of these drivers are hoping to one day go and move up to our Pro-Am class, which I will say the winners, top 3 of our Am Gold, will be moving up to fight it out with our Pro-Am class. It's a very interesting to see here, and very something fun, one can say, to keep in mind as a driver. So fighting it out there, but currently our closest battle on circuit, Jacobus van der Walt, followed closely by Alvin Prim, separated by 0.3.4 of a second, and then also right behind them, Leon Swan in that Lamborghini. So it's really great to see the Lamborghini, unfortunately, carrying some damage on the front of it. You'll see there, going there as they fly on by. The McLaren, the Lamborghini carrying some damage. You see that from an earlier contact with Chantal Hansen. Let's see if we can get a look on that front splitter. Always love these onboard shots. Just listen to that whine of that V10 screaming. It's absolutely phenomenal as he goes there. But let's take a look on Alvin Prim's side. Taking a look back. He's getting pushed back, the likes of Leon Swan, a little bit backwards towards the cars behind him of Alan Pomerosa and Rudy Fenter. Now, Rudy Fenter has gotten a fight of his own. He's the lone Porsche out there needing to make a bit of a statement, along with the Lamborghini out there and then the Lexus, our lone Lexus going around there and fighting his way out. Again, Rick Thomas now going and dethroning Kieran Harris with a 1 minute 35.545. His last lap, 3/10 faster than Kieran Harris, already going and making a bit of a statement saying, you're not running away with that booty. I'm going to make your life a bit difficult. So his battles all up around the circuit, but a little bit back of the pack. Ruan van der Westhuizen having to defend against Ruan Schultz in the Boatley, the Big Ben of our cars. Such a shame that this car doesn't race competitively anymore in real world racing, but we luckily have amazing simulators such as ACC that allows us to still experience the beauty that is the Boatley. So really appreciate this car. It's actually something that's a bit of a pride for us South Africans. The car having carried the likes of Jordan Pepper all the way to a victory at Mount Panorama. Yes, Bathurst. That exact Bentley took them before he went on. As we do have a bit of a collision between car 39 and car 137. Car 39, that seems to be, I wonder what's going on there. Car 137 is all the way at the bottom. Yeah, that would be Lucas Hubert. There we go. So they had a bit of a run together. See some damage on the front splitter of the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo, a new rendition of the car, but some swapping happening around. Paul Leroux, some battles up in front. Like a look at this, Chris Trief getting his hands dirty with the car of 999, which is Keanu Oster, is a newcomer to the sim as well as to this championship. He reaching out and joining us in the penultimate closing rounds of the drivers there, but 217, of course, having a bit of work to do in order to fight her way up there. She's already 2 laps down onto her closest rival, so she has to have a lot of work to do and needs to hope that her strategy plans out. It's now change of strategy to see how she's going to attack this. Jaco Griesel now having to defend against Dylan Pragi. new driver for Triple D Motorsports needing to go and fight it out. I must say, I know this is like a basic paint scheme for the Ferrari 296 on ACC, but it is still quite a beautiful color combination. It reminds me of the old Golf colors. Absolutely beautiful. So really well done on that color choice there, Dylan. Going to keep an eye out on that car there. But close fight on the circuit there. Multiple close fights happening all around the circuit. Alvin Prim getting really close and getting past the 777 of Jacobus van der Walt in that move. See if we can go back a few seconds, see how he made that move. Oh, that's a very long time ago made the move there, and now unfortunately having to try and defend against the likes of Leon Swan. Leon Swan having a bit of a difficult run after that early contact and now needing to really work his way up, carrying that damage. Look at the side door of that Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. Now, I do have to point up though, this might be sometime the last time that we will see. Oh, contact! Oh, just a bit of a spin. No, 217 got a personal lap. What happened there? Let's see if we can get a bit of a lap back here. 30 seconds, this is where we want to be. Let's see if we can just get a bit of a cockpit view. Not what we want to see. Dash view. Not what we want to see. Helmet view. Let's see, it's much better. Let's just see. So 67, we will take a look right now. 67. Oh no. Oh, just getting a bit wrong. Dropping the gear and locking it up there. Car 67. Gianluca Palmarosa. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have our first heartbreak. I think we have our first gut-wrenching moment for car 67. Car 67 has had a bit of a whoops. Let's see, a bit of no man's land. This is about a minute ago. He didn't get spiked on our system as an incident. So 67 might have had a bit of a self-inflicted incident that dropped him all the way down. Our car 222, which is Rudy Fenter, and then car 94, which is Leon Swan, had a bit of an incident. We will maybe not see it now because we're still busy on the replay side trying to get what happened with car 67 there. But 222 had a bit of an accident with car 67. I wonder if 222 has gone and collected, oh sorry, 94. If car 222 collected Leon Swan, I mean, I can see on my timing tower, he got past them. So I do think that contact happened between these two, which kind of unsettled the Lamborghini and allowed Rudy Fenter to go on through. I think that might be what happened. Yeah, there we go. Okay, thank you, Jim, for giving us this amazing bit of feedback there. We just able to see the end of that. So thank you very much for that. Just a bit of a brush and pass there. But heartbreaking moment there for car 67. Gianluca, not what he would have wanted. That does promote his dad, Alan Palmarosa, into the lead for Silver. I'm already seeing these guys, pro drivers. It's difficult to see them with how amazing they've been driving the past couple of races. So really well done to them. I'm looking forward to see what they will be able to pull out of the hat. Yeah, so far our entire top 9, all gold drivers, all of them fighting out there. Alan Palmarosa getting that McLaren beautifully hooked up, seeming to be challenging some of our gold drivers, and that's what we want to see, these silver drivers taking the fight to these drivers. Some very good support coming out there from Matty. So I see what you're doing there, Matt. You can't delete that. Is always in the mind of the almighty Cameron. I'm kidding, no. But no, some very good driving there. Jean Clute also will be smiling bright if the race were to end now. But unfortunately, we do not do red flag racing here. We only do green flag racing. And if you see the green flag, you see the checkered flag no matter what. Accident though, car 122 and car 396. That will be the car right behind him. No, let's just quickly go back about 30 seconds to see what happened here. He is coming up on a back marker. That will be his teammate, I do believe. Car Fani Feliz. Yeah, that's his teammate. So unfortunately, getting a bit fouled up. Not his teammate. That is Extreme Racing, turning in a bit. He did leave the door open. Car 369. So unfortunately, can be deemed as a racing incident in my perspective, but if it does get reported, that will all come down to the steward's judgment. So some good racing going on currently out there, as we do see some side-by-side action for our car 112 as well as none other than Andrew Harris. Andrew Harris now having to fight his way back past Alexander Everingham, having a great start to get past the likes of Donny Bosch, and now sitting right on the rear bumper of Rick Thomas. A bit of a gap though, funny enough, for the top. Rick Thomas not able to close that gap down anymore from Kieran Harris. Kieran Harris putting in the fastest lap of 35.482, going about half 5/100ths of a second faster than Rick Thomas on the personal best lap. Rick Thomas is going faster ever so slightly. Car 777 getting involved in another little bit of an accident there, probably with a back marker. Car number 76, that will be Donovan Leyer. Now Donovan Leyer making it a bit difficult all the way from the console side, bumping it into our PC side, flashing his lights saying, listen, you're holding me up here, but I want to get past. I've got a very, very antsy silver driver behind me. I want you to go, I want you to go, I want you to go. Go, 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 go. So the Aston Martin not looking to hang around and hoping to make some moves, but he does not have the drive. Unfortunately, we do see the likes of Marcus Freyson putting out of the slipstream in an attempt to make a move there. As we take a look back here, Marcus Freyson not able to set it yet. Take a defensive line against car 67, which is Gianluca Palmarosa. Now this too is fighting for position in class, and right above them Jason Randall also fighting for position in class. So these guys are all fighting it out there. There's no easy solution in order to get the results that they want. Drivers need to be very careful. That Lexus, of course, will be struggling, not able to really go and make it out there easy. No long straights to run, nothing to really make it work. As Chantal Hansen goes and puts in her personal best lap, and she's hoping to probably go and just improve some of her times to go there. But you see Jaco Friesel now exiting the pits. Chantal Hansen, unfortunately, getting a lap back, but not enough to really go and claim a position back yet from Jaco Friesel. Further up the field, we've got a close fight between, again, Jacobus van der Walt and Donovan Leyer. Donovan using the braking power of the Aston Martin in an attempt to get closer. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to get right there and get close there. But they all have their eyes set on Jean Cloute. Now, Jean Cloute is not in the class. It's not the race. Now, I know Jean Cloute wants to go after the likes of Alan Palmarosa. However, he needs to play mindful. He doesn't need to go and attack right away. He can be patient, he can be calm, he can let these guys through. He's got a little bit of a gap between himself and Jason Randall, almost about 3 seconds is the gap between them, as we do see the likes of Rudy Fenter. Now Rudy Fenter going into the pits is a bit of a different one. He doesn't seem to have any form of damage on the car, so that will probably be just tire change. That Porsche spinning his tires up, absolutely soft suspension. Gianluca Palmarosa going in and getting his one stop done on the hour and 1 minute mark. So the Porsche very soft on the rear, bouncing as he exits the pits, and needs to be very careful how he takes it, of course, having gone there. But car 285 pumping up on our tower as having a bit of an incident, damage on the front inside. Car 46 also involved in an incident. Car 46, of course, being Alan Palmarosa. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, carnage, carnage, carnage. What can I tell you? Let's take a look back. What has happened for Alan Palmarosa, our gold silver leader, as he was coming up to a back marker between himself and Leon Swan. Leon Swan not getting involved in that. Let's see what happened here. There it is, contact, synchronized spinning. Luckily only getting knocked and not the wall, with the likes of Fani Feliz getting off very, very, very second best. Car 999 also involved in an accident, unfortunately. Now getting a few bumps and scrapes. Welcome to Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very bumpy, very, very tight racing. Car 999 and car 72 getting involved. Of course, Keanu Westhuizen dropping down the field. There we go. Rubbing is racing, but racing can also be very, very problematic, as that can be viewed as shunting out of the way. So really, really rough racing, and a bit of a rough welcoming to some of the new drivers out there as they do go and fight it out there. Getting a bit of a sandwich there. Car 14 has gone off. Car 14 is limping to the pits. What has happened here? 1 minute is the time lapse that we have currently now. What has happened here? Oh, Keanu getting in the way. Unsafe rejoin. Keep it out the wall. Unstable. Not able to. Let's hop on board. Please don't tell that there is damage to that steering column. Will the suspension be damaged? This is the beauty of these helmet cams. Luckily doesn't look to be damaged, but he will have lost a significant amount of time to Kieran Harris as well as Alexander Everingham. Almost this timing tower is in the tens already. Going. Oh, this McLaren is struggling to go and get it done there. I do see you guys in the chat there, and I appreciate it. I will give a shout out from our side for that. Really, thank you very much for that. And this is all going towards the likes of Kieran Harris going into the pits. Bit of an early pit stop there for you, bud. Curious to see what he's going to be doing there. So very interesting to go forward from there. But thank you very much, guys, for that. I appreciate it as well. But this will all go towards enabling RaceFace to improve the streaming that we have out here for you guys on RaceFace.Pro across all of our simulators, all the way from iRacing to ACC to LMU, and more on that side. ACC, of course, getting close to its final round, as well as our LMU side with our iRacing side fresh in its early season of our championship fight there, which of course happened this round, and then we have a week break and then going back and fighting there. But car 999 once again getting into an accident. Car 999 this time getting to an accident with car number 7, Ruan Scholes. What has happened with these cars? It seems to be a bit of argy-bargy racing. Dips a wheel out, car drifting wide, gets onto the green turf, the grass, not what you want. Okay, and that's a bit of understeer. Rubbing's racing is rubbing. That's how it's going to be. But no, I really appreciate it, Matty, but no, this will be going all towards RaceFace.Pro and then improving everything there. Even more, we're donating it maybe to a charity of choice. So we'll see how that goes, but we do appreciate it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the support you give out there. Exiting the pits is Alan Palmarosa, all the way from the lead, going out and getting the car sorted after his first pit stop. Alan Palmarosa, though, falling quite low down the order. Very bad stop though. I wonder what happened there. Might have missed his box. But this has promoted though. Rick Thomas will definitely be carrying a amount of damage on that car, so he will be struggling. The tires will definitely be sore. And car 17, Alexander Everingham, is sniffing all ever closer, smelling blood in the water, hoping to get an attack going in an attempt to get past Rick Thomas is Alexander Everingham and to extend his hold on a position within the fight. So we'll see what happens and see what's going to go. Let's quickly add to go there and just quickly manage something off of the camera side there. But unfortunately, some hard racing going on out there and not what we want to see. But it is something that can be sorted out through our steering team. Very, very grateful for our steering team for what they do in all they do for us here at RaceFace.Pro. All the way from LMU, iRacing, and to ACC. They have done it all for us, and we respect them to go from out there. I'm talking about their phones. Forget the better one. Let's get the iPhone. I'm kidding, but no, it is one of those things. So it's quite interesting to see what's going on now. But it is great to see many of the drivers already over an hour, well, under 55 minutes left to go within the race. So great to see some of the drivers still going around there. But ladies and gentlemen, If you wish to join us out here in the virtual world of RaceFace.Pro on ACC, racing, or even LMU, whatever tickles your fancy, as we do see a bit of a contact at the back there between 122 and 285. If this tickles your fancy and you want to go and throw in your hat for the championship fight, either your Pro-Am, Pro, or even Am Gold and Am Silver, head on over to the description down below and head and join on in at RaceFace.Pro in the Discord, where you can join us for our racing, LMU, and even ACC. And if you do not have anything to drive around, guess what? We have the people that will hook you up all the way out in the way, well, all the way at Evolved, Evolved simulators. They have everything for you, from simulators, well, racing simulators, to flight simulators. Flight simulators, of course, being the new forte and a new endeavor that they are packing on along with their virtual racing. So really, really well done to them, as we do see Donovan Laird dumping into the pits. But not only will they provide you with top-notch gear, they're also the supplier of Moza, Fanatec, SimMagic, and shortly Aztec Sim gear. But I've also heard a little birdie singing in the bushes, saying that they will be bringing in the full motion rig of Moza, the only motion rig fully compatible with existing Moza hardware. So that means your Moza pedals, your Moza wheelbase, and your Moza steering. It will all be compatible. So it's the first in its system in terms of being part a 6 DOF degree of freedom motion rig. So drivers will be able to go and drive how they want to drive, whether it be full motion, sitting still. These guys will be able to hook you up with anything from flight sticks all the way to full-on cockpit simulators. Do you see a car there on the side of the road? That seems to be car 777. No, not car 777. Car 46. Car 46 has gotten into... That's Donovan... What happened to... Donovan Lair was into the pits. I apologize for that. Car 46 has dropped significantly down the field. And if you want coaching, I'm not the best at driving, but I can be fast. But of course, we are always able to help you if you want to get fast or anything. There's always someone in the Discord that's willing to sit with you to help them. Oh, Ron Scholes, unfortunately, getting a stop, go 30 for speeding in the pit lane. Bad rejoin. Contact forces car 72 off into the gravel trap. Bit of an unsafe exit. Something that might need to be decided. But it is going there, slowing out. Not the place where you want to let drivers through, though. It is something of a bit of a rough one to be going around there to go and do that. Drivers do need to be cautious when they have to do that, because it can be a bit of a tricky one can say there. But you are always more there. But building E36s, unfortunately, I think there might be people building some mobbies out there. I'm not 100% sure. But if you do want to come over and join us, down in the description is where you want to be, and you might even run into myself and my fellow commentator, or even fellow racers out there in the Discord world, and we will be able to help you out, either getting faster or just understanding the simulator, or getting you signed up to join racing, or to help join us racing here at RaceFace.Pro. Now, enough babbling from my side. 50 minutes and 47 seconds to go. That is what's currently out on the timer, as the drivers are busy fighting it out for glory out here in the podium. Ross Scholes there having a good fight. Rick Thomas still not having pitted, still carrying that damage on him, still having car 17, Alexander Everingham, right underneath that rear wing of the McLaren. Now, his teammate getting a bit filing up there. Car 369, finally for Lees. Already 5 laps down. Car 46 putting in his personal best lap, going there for the session, a 137.19 on lap 17. But these two are not making it easy for one another. It is going to be a bit of rough racing for these two, but remember, this is a fight for second in the championship. Drivers need to be very, very mindful of how they approach it. You don't want to go have initial contacts, which can result in penalty points dropping down from a time penalty, making very, very difficult. Car 65 mining out the way, playing very, 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 very smart, not getting involved in this fight. That will be Paul Leroux. I have to say, I take my hat off to all the delivery, well, to all the livery, not delivery, delivery designers out there for these cars. absolutely done a phenomenal work. I have to choose a beautiful one, and I have to say from all of them, I have to choose the VXR Green Speed Innovations livery. That fade from white to purple and the Viper on the side is absolutely beautiful. So well done to whoever made your livery there, VXR. Can say that is my favorite so far. I'm gonna make that as a, how can we say this? Let's make it a commentator's vote for next season. Which livery will be commentator's vote. You won't win anything, but you will get bragging rights saying, I am the commentator's favorite livery. So let's see how they do that for that one. Currently closest fight on circuit is the likes of Donny Bosch and right behind him, Andrew Harris. Harris brothers making life difficult there for any of the other non-racing Snails drivers out in the Ford Mustang. So really go and make it difficult. Let's see. Want a driver of the vote, driver of the day. I don't think I'll have the capabilities to do that. Let's see here. Unfortunately, we'll not be able to do that, but we will look into it for next season. I can promise you that. They won't score any points, but they will get bragging rights. You know where it goes. It's one of those things that go out throughout the entire... We'll run it throughout the entire race every time we do it here for us. But so far, Andrew Harris making life difficult for Donny Bosch. Donny Bosch needing to be very mindful of how he places the car. The temperature out on track has gone very down. Optimum is the current track status, with dropping down to 15 degrees sunny and 15 degree track. So it is going to be quite difficult to see that. Car 777 running wide, car number 7 smacking his left rear. Definitely going to be damaging that, little bit of suspension out there. So it's going to be difficult, but car 777 getting involved in a bit of a fight with Jean Clitter a few minutes ago. Not what he would have wanted. Drivers jumping into the pits to get stuff sorted, and we have a yellow flag out on circuit, needing to be very careful. Finally, Alexander Everingham. Let's see if I can find out where he made this move. Must be a few seconds back. Oh, right before we missed that bump, then back we see the Bentley smacking against the wall. Rick Thomas losing his position, not able to defend against the ever-charging Alexander Everingham, although he does have damage on the car and needs to go and get that fixed. Drivers, of course, need to be very mindful how they attack this. It's going to be quite difficult, and it's going to be quite interesting how they will be able to do this. Fortunately, car 67 being crowned the most unluckiest driver. Massive bunch of cars. Car 73 and car 19 popping up on my timing tower, flashing there from the likes of Ruan van der Westhuizen. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. About to go about 30 seconds back. Here we go. A hard sweeping left-hander side by side. Going towards the chicane will be hard on the braking zone. Still there. There it is. Being a bit of a squeeze. Not what you would have wanted, but he was entitled to that racing line and that racing space. So unfortunately, will be a penalty. Flashing light saying, listen, I am not happy with you, but very not happy. Let's see how that's going to be deemed by many of our drivers out there. Currently into the pits, Alexander Everingham and Rick Thomas. We will see them as we switch back. There we go. On to live view. Rick Thomas, how long will he be in the pits? Going to be interesting as do you see that. Car 19 sponsored by Aquafresh. Ruan van der Westhuizen, they're getting a nice little sponsor there. But take a look at that second-hand Ferrari 296. They're absolutely smashed. So Rick Thomas, unfortunately, in the pits. Car switched off. There's a Ferrari, I do believe Volley Negrini, still currently in the pits. Car 15. Sitting there waiting. Rick Thomas not wanting to have his championship go out this way, but unfortunately he's hoping to get the car fixed. Car switched off. An unfortunate, very long time within the pits, dropping him out of any fight of podium. Car firing up, dropping, firing, launching, and away we go. Car rolling, sorted, ready to go back out on track as the exit pit lane. Going out on a clear circuit there. All that back, we do see Chantal Hansen in 26, 26th position. Currently only 2 laps back from the closest, well, from the front running pack. Let's take a look at our bit of a timetable here. As you see the amount of lap difference between them. 22 is the gap there. Chantal Hansen currently 2 laps down on the front running pack, but getting closer and closer to Paul Leroux. So really putting in some good qualifying times in an attempt to get faster and faster. Car 19 once again involved in an accident. What is going on there? Car 19 now into the pits, and that's the one we had previously. I do apologize for that, Schumann. He is now getting into the pits to get himself sorted, up and running, get one of his pit stops out of the way. Currently leading our silver class is Marcus Freyson in the McLaren 720S Evo. An absolute astonishing car that has a lot of its braking performance coming at the end of its cycle. I mean, you can brake as late as possible and the brakes will still hold no matter how much work you put through those tires. And it's actually one of my favorite cars. It's a car that I main a lot in all my simulators that I drive, and still a car that I absolutely love and adore. Of the modern cars, if you want to go historics, let me tell you about that. Let me know if you want to know something about historics. Then we'll go forward from there. Rick Thomas dropping all the way from the lead to 10th in place due to getting damage fixed, but he will be working on his pace. Looking at the car, new front bumper, new rear bumper, wing might have been a little bit patched up also, so this car will be absolutely zooming its way past the field as car 19 exits the pit there in the front. Car 777 now sitting pretty in 9th position. Our closest battle on circuit is currently Donovan Leia and car number 73. Matt Myberg, both of them fighting it out tooth and nail as they go and fight it out there. Some very good moves though from the two drivers. I was just watching them as they go around. Yellow flag once again. That might just be a car going a bit off the track there. But the twisty sections of Zandvoort makes it very, very difficult for the drivers to get a good run throughout the entire circuit. You can't put your nose in. If you do, it can cause a bit of carnage. Let's jump aboard to our Helicam sponsored by me. If you know Lamar, it will be sponsored by Rolex. But here at RacePro, the Helicam is sponsored by me, Cameron. So it's going to be something fun out there, but just take a look at that. Just get the sense of how tight the circuit is, where it extends, how it makes it so difficult, and what makes it not so fun to really make it to drive. I do apologize for that. Got a bit of a side note there. Now, unfortunately, this one is fueled by hopes and dreams to get this helicopter running. It's a little bit of a project I built in the side garage there by myself. And I'm just kidding. There's some great shots from our Helicam as they go across the start-finish line. Matt Myberg hunting down Donovan Leia from console, who jumped from console all the way over to PC Racing. So great racing between two of them. Back a bit more back, we have the likes of Dylan Pragi, followed closely by the Lexus, and as I say that, he gets launched over the rumble strips. And goodbye Ferrari, hello Lexus, saying thank you, I'll get right on by. Some contact happening though between car 11, Jason Randall, and 285, which is unfortunately going to happen, as that little bump made the move around. So it's going to be something to make it difficult. And if someone out there, how do you sponsor a virtual Helicam? Easy, you just run it from your computer. But that's a bit of an inside joke from two of us. But yeah, it is going to be something. Commentator's Curse, a lethal one. It is a rite of passage if you want to be a commentator. Alvin Prim dropping from 2nd all the way into 7th. Kieran Harris retaking the lead there, taking charge of this one. Michael Frazen, though, shocker. Not really shocker, but a car that's normally in the back of the pack is sitting in the lead for our silver class. So this is going to help his championship points a lot. Gianluca Palmarosa fighting his way up into 4th in class, followed by his dad, Alan Palmarosa. So really, really need to go and work together to fight their way up into the pack. Donovan Lea, unfortunately, letting Matt Myberg go through. Stop, go 30 for Dylan Pragi. Dylan getting off of the pit limiter a bit too early, meaning he will get a knock on the wrist from the steward saying, listen, you spared the pits, now you're going to pay for it. Donovan Lea jumping into the pits to get rid of his tyres and attempting to go and improve his lap times and get closer to where he wanted to be. Chantal Hansen going into the pits for her final stop, I believe, after getting run there, just catching her at the exit of our pit. The flying lady going and striking once again, doing her best to fight back after a early race contact in the race between herself and Swan. Now, Swan is a driver that we haven't spoken about much after his early bit of contacts, and I do believe Swan is sitting all the way at the top of the leaderboard. Now entering the pits, followed closely by Kieran Harris, who is doing his final stop. Leon Swan there, and then a little bit back, we've got Alexander Everingham now taking over the lead. Some moments of silence there, just getting a bit of research and some gossip going on my side, but not really gossip, just a bit of research. But Leon Swan into the pits, dropping from 2nd all the way down into 3rd, now dropping to 4th. Marcus Fraser, our lead and silver driver, going and getting his stop done. Leon Swan getting past it, just seeing the shot there. Marcus Fraser still holding in the pits. Jean Cluter also in the pits, and Matt Myberg. Now Jean-Luca Palmarosa coming past the start finish line, going to take 3rd, 2nd and 1st in his class after a bit of an early drop down the field. Might have had a spin, might have done his stop already, going and getting the lead back after some great pace showing out there. But car 777, Jacobus van der Walt getting a shout out there in the virtual grandstand. Right behind him, none other than the hunting shark of Rick Thomas of Extreme Sim Racing, hoping to find his way back up the field. Fortunately now getting to show that he has quite good pace, even with that damage, able to maintain the car. But will the McLaren be anything compared to the mighty Mustang? Personal best time coming there from car 222, being Rudy Fenter not having the race to remember, unfortunately. But this is our closest fight on circuit, ladies and gentlemen, our closest fight. Needing to go and really put in some work in an attempt to go and fight his way back after contact between himself and Westhuizen. Currently up on the times is Alexander Everingham, a 0.3 of a second up on his personal best time. And Kieran Harris still holding firmly with his time, but this is our close battle. Let's see if we can hop on board and get a bit of a view and just listen how the driver of Rick Thomas is. Let's look from the rear wing actually. Just take a look at that shot. Rapid Raccoon, that is the name of Jacobus van der Walt's team that he is hoping to defend with pride and honor. Alvin Prim right behind these two, hoping to gain a bit from these two if they do collect one another, or just use Rick Thomas as a bit of a battery ram in an attempt to go past these drivers. Just under braking, how this McLaren just closes that gap underneath it, and that's one car that I wish to see one day in real life. I've seen the Lamborghini, I've seen a Nissan GT3 GTR in real life, I've seen a Huracan Evo GT2, I've even seen a Super Trofeo Huracan in real life. Heard it scream. By the way, Super Trofeo and the Evo 2 sound very similar, not much difference between them, very small differences, but absolutely want to see a Ford Mustang GT3 as well as a McLaren 720S Evo GT3 fighting it out in real life. So Luca Palmarosa giving up the lead once again in the pits. You see it on side tower. Rick Thomas jumping into the pits to get his final pit stop going and rolling as he goes. Interesting how they're going to do this. And I did receive just a bit of note there from the from the virtual grandstand. Zoot Fly saying second last race before the white rookie snails received their yellow snail liveries. Now, my time that I've spent in the pro division was followed by a bunch of yellow liveried racing snails. So I'm eager to see them going. Yeah, there we go. Rick Thomas getting that last little splash and dash going, and then now we'll be setting sights onto all the other drivers around them. So getting past, that's a Ferrari, not losing much time. Donny getting past them, I will say that. So timing tower will update as we go past the drivers now, fading it out here. Donny Bosch showing some great pace already, going there. Mr. Slow, saying his self-proclaimed nickname, Mr. Slow. That is not going to be your nickname from now on, as you are definitely not slow. You are taking the fight to our front running pack. But so far, it is leading the charge. Our top 3 steps of the podium overall is Racing Snails, followed by, you guessed it, Racing Snails, showing a dominant stronghold on our gold class, and then leading our silver class is a Racing Snail, again with Alan Palmarosa fighting his way out there. Marcus Frazen in second position, again in a McLaren, hunting down Alan Palmarosa, hoping to break the Racing Snail dominance, followed by Jean Klutter all the way in Extreme Sim Racing. I must say, really, I'm absolutely astonished by the livery work you guys are doing. Right, Ron van der Westhuizen showing a bit of some mechanical issues there with that red bar spiking, showing that he's having a bit of technological issues going there. But accident, 777 and car 52. Is that rubbing is racing, or is that just racing? Let's take a look back. That just popped up onto my timing tower into the braking zone. Was there a bit of contact? Not seeing anything. Might be a bit more back. So kind of interesting to see what is going to be happening here for these drivers. Well, we can be lucky that we are not in the in France, because we do know they absolutely, that's a back marker, car 75, minding out of the way. That's Donovan Leyer minding out his way to not get involved in this little fight here. But if you were in France, contact, off goes Donovan Leyer. Not what you want to do, actually. But if you were in France, they would take all the racing snails off of the track, cook them up, put a bit of salt on them, or just, if you want to slow down a snail, you just throw a bit of salt around them. Easy. That's how you easily capture a snail. Cook it, eat it. Don't ask me, I don't eat snails. Not my taste bud. Not what I want to go out for there. But Jarvis doing an absolutely phenomenal work out here, putting on a great fight. And the likes of, that was Albert Prim, gaining a good overhand over the likes of Jacobus van der Walt. Further down the field, the drivers seem to be settling down a little bit. Not much of attacks coming every now and then. Temperature dropping even a bit more. Jacobus van der Walt going to the pits to get his farm stop as we head into the final 31 minutes and 30 seconds of this race. Dylan Bragi also into the pits to get his final one done. It's almost 8 p.m. here in the Netherlands at Zandvoort. 14 degrees is your air and track temperature. No wind currently blowing across any of these cars. Cars absolutely not being bothered by any headwind, tailwind, or any short form of wind. Rudy Fenter hoping to get a bit of a better drive. Stop go 34, Timothy Fullion. Not what he would have wanted on the penultimate round for ACC, as he aims to join the iRacing side in a couple of weeks' time. Not what he would have wanted. So really not how. Just look at the damage carried on that Porker. I've also actually seen the Porsche in real life, and I must say, do you know how easy it is to remove the window off of the driver's side of a Porsche? Don't believe me? Go back over to SAS 4 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps earlier this year, where MJR Motorsport unfortunately had an overheating problem within their Porsche 991.2. I'm not so sure. These Porsches have different names. You can make it unique. But they had to go, and because the drivers couldn't stay long enough, they actually took off the windows in an attempt to cool the drivers down. It helped a bit, but not much. So the drivers need to go, and if Rudy Fenter has a bit of an issue with overheating the car, guess what? Just go to the pits, smack that window out, and you're good to go. So the more you know, it's like a Volkswagen. It's pretty much a Volkswagen. Funny enough, Porsche and Lamborghini is at Audi. Porsche and Audi is owned by the Volkswagen Group. Lamborghini is partially owned by Audi. Don't believe me? Go look under the hood of an Audi or of a Lamborghini Huracan GT3 And you will see it has someone, Rudy, going cross-country racing in an attempt to avoid some of the Aston Martin slower cars, and Dylan Pragi closing up quite hard onto the rear of that car. Rapid Raccoons getting shut out there in the virtual grandstand there, hoping to really make some work going out there for these drivers. With Thomas getting past the likes of car 73. Car 73 is a back marker, so it wasn't for position. That will be Matt Myworth. He needs to close an 8-second gap towards Leon Swanepoel. Now, if we take a shot here, Leon Swanepoel is well clear of it. We can't have a different shot, unfortunately. Drivers needing to make some very, very good work here. Well, that's a very good type of a bit of a commitment test from the drivers that you have there from the Racing Snails team captain, saying the drivers to show commitment before they can go yellow. That is a very good way to go and test it. Well, if it's not yellow, it is slow. That might not be true with how you have Kieran Harris leading the charge here. Alexander Everingham, of course, leading the way. Still needs to do his pit stop. But Kieran Harris also, Rick Thomas, having his hands full, not having the race he wanted after his contact with a back marker earlier on in the race. Needing to go as we head into the final 27 minutes of the race. Really need to go and work it out there. 420, exactly, Matty. Explain car number 420 currently on screen. It's not slow if it's in white. This car is an absolute beast in the hands of Kieran Harris, and I want to put down a challenge. I want to see him drive this car next season when he heads into the Pro division. I want to see if he's able to still maintain it and still take the fight towards the drivers up there. Mining out the way, Rudy Fenter having his rain light on to indicate he will not be fighting it as the drivers go flying by. Rudy Fenter trying to salvage whatever points he can after a bit of a bad luck with his computer early on in this week. So drivers really needing to go and put in some work. Aliens is, of course, the true one. If you ever watch back and wonder what is an alien, what we refer to as aliens, these are the absolutely astonishingly fast drivers out there that go and set blistering lap times that some of us normal people can't really compete with. So if you want an alien properly, go look at our pro-am and pro-am drivers all the way on the other stream. Also, it's commentated by my lovely close friend and co-commentator Stephen Koenig. If you also want some good racing there, both categories have good racing. Stephen also going towards there and delivering some great work there as part of THT production group. So Donnie Bosch having a close fight with Andrew Harris. Andrew being the second of the being the second Harris rather, but the slowest between the two of them. So it is going to be quite a phenomenal fight there. Leon Swan still carrying that damage he had from early on. Look at that side panel smash on that Lamborghini. The rear also now having to be a bit second. That's Lucas Hubert there in the front. Not having a very good fight of Griffin Sim Racing team, GSRT. Now, if I speak about teams that have been with RaceFace for quite some time, a few pop to mind. In the past, we've had Hybrid Racing Academy. We've had, well, GSRT has been around for many times. We've had PWSR. They've gone and now returned semi with their one driver in the Pro division. So the Griffin Sim Racing team has become a part of the teams that have been stuck around for many times. Blue Flag, they were being shown, so getting moved out the way. 777, and that's an old incident being popped up on our screen there. Leon Swan making quick work of the likes of Lucas Hubert. Now sets aside to move forward and hunt after the Mustang of Andrew Harris, but actually Andrew Harris is quite a while up the road. A lot of work having to be done for many of the drivers after some contacts on a very narrow circuit such as Zandvoort. Still holding the fastest lap is Kieran Harris with 35.3. No one's able to get close to that time. Only from my scanning over the timing tower, we have 3 cars able to run sub 36s, and that is Rick Thomas, Kieran Harris, and Alexander Everingham. But Alexander Everingham by just a tiny little fraction. The last laps, though, the only one sub 35 is the man on screen, Kieran Harris, only one able to get towards that part of the timing tower. So really good points and times being set. Kieran being able to score a total of, how much points he scores, but he gets 2 points. There we go. He's going to get the full 50 points for Fernie being first, as well as 2 bonus points for the fastest lap. That's what has been told by the organizers as well as the stewards or race director earlier on today. I just like how in the virtual grandstand someone is saying that I love the Pomerosa brothers, Pomerosa father and son, but I always commentate to Kirsten. Let's see if that works again. Alan Pomerosa leading his class beautifully. Nobody in sight to challenge him except Marcus Fraser, which is a bit back, about 5 seconds back is Marcus Fraser, only closest competitor towards the likes of Alan Pomerosa. Gianluca Pomerosa, however, is also running solo all the way down in 5th position in his class. Nobody around him to keep him company as he is sitting sight and hoping to close that gap and score points. And how they're going to do it. You keep on saying they're brothers, but I've spoken to them and they said that father and son, Alan being the father and Gianluca being the dad. Try and see if we have any notes here. That's only for our Pro category. We've got a bit of a note there from one of the drivers. So drivers are still fighting out the final 22 minutes. I will not lie, ladies and gentlemen, I've missed being in the presence of you amazing viewers out there and being able to bring this and inviting me into your home to bring you the racing action out there. I do again want to apologize from my side. 2 weeks, fortunately missed it. First one, of course, being a bit of a work commitment that I had to make sure I had to attend there. And then finally, of course, upgrading my entire system to bring better streaming, better quality, better everything to showcase the amazing skill that these drivers have out here. And also, yeah, I kind of want to upgrade my side also, but that is of course how it is going to be, the strive to bring some good quality towards you out there, to be on par with what you all expect out here. But so far, Gianluca Pomerosa and Alan Palmerosa, both of them holding strong, so you can't say commentator's curse, strike them hard. Great to see them still going out there, but running wide, kicking a bit of gravel is Alan Palmerosa. And unfortunately, having a bit of a boring race. Started out strong and then became a bit boring. So, yes, I want the action. Yes, I want drama. Yes, I want to see some very good action-packed racing. Up front, we have a Mustang. I wonder if that is Fani Felice. We do have our first retirement, though, ladies and gentlemen. Ross Scholes in the Boatley, the big Bentley, going unfortunately retiring, saying he is not able to continue anymore. Damage to the car, too extensive, not able to fix it. So, first retirement in our second race here as we head into the final 21 minutes of the championship. Fani Felice can't go exploring the white sandy beaches or the green grass hills of Zandvoort just yet, buddy. You still have about 20 minutes, 40 seconds to go with that Mustang. And this is where drivers, of course, will be going in the off-season. Will they be sticking with the Mustang? Will they be sticking with the cars they had? Will they be developing a bit more in the off-season? Will they be testing a bit more? I always say, and that's something that I don't normally stick with in my racing, is stick with a car that you want. I have car 17 and car 94. Contact between them. Let's see if I can get them on the radar. Car 17, that's Alexander Everingham. Car 94, that will be Leon Swan. Let's go back 30 seconds. Here we go. Let's see what happened. Into heartbreaker zone. That red diffuser of the Lamborghini not already hanging on. Of course, cheap to replace it here in semi-real. It is about expensive. That is under braking. That is a bit of something that might be settled in the stewarding office if Leon Swan wishes to take it to that one. So Alexander Everingham having pitted already from the lead and now might probably even get a bit punished. Alan Palmarosa, I'm not 100% sure if he has pitted yet, my friends. It is going to be interesting to see what he does. Let's see. His pit stop was about a 1 minute 30. So I don't think he has stopped already. I think he still needs to go get his little splash and dash out the way, which might happen in the closing minutes of the race. So that's something that we do need to look out for. As I say that, Alan Palmarosa into the pits. Marcus Fraser will be promoted. Marcus Fraser still needs to do his second pit stop. Let's see how quick this one is as we jump on board into the helmet cam of Alan Palmarosa, our net leader of our silver category. Is he able to hold it with 19 minutes to go of this race? Slowly but surely on pit limiter, creeping, 50 kilometers an hour. That is the max he's allowed to go. Engine needs to be switched off though. Very, very strange. The car did not switch off immediately. Normally that is something that's in practice. Switch off immediately, jump out and go. So drivers now, depending on how much fuel he needs to add, this is quite a long stop. There we go. Doesn't fire it up. That's wrong gear selection also. Not what he would have wanted for his drive. Needs to check pit limit to make sure. And there he goes. 48. That is longer than what he needed. We'll have to see what his times compared to his fellow driver. So Marcus Fraser is his closest competitor. How will he be able to do that? We will have to see. Close competitor will be Marcus Fraser leading the way, and then Jason Randall right behind him, unfortunately, I believe. Let's just check here. Jason Randall, there we go. Actually, Jason Randall's right in front of him. So even with that bad stop, ladies and gentlemen, he is still able to jump them. Jason Randall might have pulled the undercut. Unless Jason Randall did not do tires previously and only did fuel, double stinting his tires, which might be a smart move, depending on how much life is left in his tires. Alan Palmarosa might have just lost the lead. Ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, 73 seconds back down the field. We have contact between Matt Myburg. Ooh, that just happened. Let's see what happened here. Matt Myburg and car 137. That's Lucas Chabet. We have on shots here. Side by side into turn 1. Runs deep. Tries to do the cutback. Gets a beautiful cutback. That's the first contact onto the gravel. Bit of... Don't know how to judge that. I can't even judge that. That might have damaged the steering column. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. That's grub. That's dirt, gravel, grunt. A whole bunch of schmuck on those tires. Yeah, that tire is absolutely broken. Matt Myburg. Suspension damage confirmed. Steering arm will be a bit skew. No, never mind. It is straight. Car 46 though. Car 46. Contact. Racing. What is going on here? He is defending against Gianluca Palmarosa, his son, and Volley Negrini. Now, Volley is not involved in this fight. He does not need to go and fight it out with these two. Different class, different championship. This is father and son needing to fight it out. Who is the fastest within the household? Alan just dropping out the way, saying, son, go and hunt it down. Oh, wait, no, that is not his son. I do apologize. That is a back marker. Let's see if I can hop onto. I can't see who that is. Is that this car? I'm hunting now. No, that is not the car. Apologies. Can't see who that car is. See if we can go on the front splitter. No, it was not son. That is a 2-digit car. One of the cars. I wonder. It's Andrew Harris, ladies and gentlemen. It's Andrew Harris. Fouling up a bit there, and not what he would have wanted to get involved in. So that's quite a lapping up there. So a bit of an incident involving between the two of them. And now Volley Negrini, might not be his fault or fight, but it's still one of those. Chantal Hansen now at the bottom of our timing tower, 23rd, having climbed position from the tower reach and just absolutely blistering pace. I hope to see when the next drivers will be pitting, as nobody else will be pulling the pit trigger just yet. 15 minutes to go. Volley Negrini, good run on Alan Palmarosa. Alan going defensive. Does not need to defend, but he wants to defend. He wants to go and just try and fight it out. Onto the gravel. Who is that? That is mining out the way. Is the likes of Fani Valise upsets the bit of Alan Palmarosa, which in turn upsets Alan Volinegrini. Contact between car 15 and car 46. That is just what we saw there. That's just under braking, a little bit of rubbing is racing. Nothing else much from what comes from that. No everlasting damage. Just one of those things. So far, this is our closest fight on circuit between the two of them, as they do need to go there. Now, I'm going to see it. Positions gained, positions lost. Of course, Kieran Harris, from start to finish, gaining some good positions. I do believe Rick Thomas losing 2 positions. Donny Bosch definitely. Oh, contact! Not what we would have wanted to see here. Let's take a bit of Volinegrini camera here. Go onto the onboard. Let's take 30 seconds back, ladies and gentlemen. Go into the helmet cam. See what happened. Going into the hard braking zone. Chucked it over the rumble strips. Car bounces. No contact. Did Alan Palmarosa do it on his own? Sends it on the inside. All on his own. That is all by upsetting the car on the rumble strips. Has thrown his time and his fight out of the window. That has brought Gianluca closer. Actually past them. 285 getting flagged as an incident. 285 being Dylan Pragi. So that's a bit down the order there. But Alan throwing away a good fight. Gianluca Palmarosa, having not done his second stop yet, I believe he still needs to do his second stop. Last stop was a 1:12, so he needs to go, and so still a bit of hope there. But Alan Palmarosa needs to keep it clean as we keep an eye on who is going to pull the trigger next to go into the pits. Up the front, Kieran Harris leading the way with Andrew Harris not closely behind, but Lucas behind him. Donny Bosch. Andrew Harris now having his rear view mirror filled with the grunt of a Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. That long car, absolutely beautiful when it comes down to straight line racing. Absolutely something else. I didn't curse him, unfortunately. That was just the camera. Again, becoming camera shy. So it's kind of interesting. 67 might have done 2 short stop at the early beginning, double setting his tires. So we'll have to see what happens. But this is our closest fight currently on circuit. But back Lucas Hubert having to deal with a back marker. And then here, Donovan Leia, Ruan van der Westhuis and Timothy Forveen. This is a 3-way fight between. No, there's not Timothy in the background. I do apologize. So this is our closest fight currently also, along with at the front one. So Volinegrini having company of car in position 22. Car in position 22. You guessed it. It is the lady on a mission, Chantal Hansen, hoping to make some moves on board and in order to get past Volinegrini. This is not for position, but she can unlap herself in an attempt to get closer to Chris Schiff. Chris Schiff, of course, being much further up the road. Drive through Marcus Frazen. Drive through Marcus Frazen. Ladies and gentlemen, it has gone pear-shaped for this driver. That is not the driver that I was selecting. Marcus Frazen, drive through, unfortunately, going and extending track limits a little bit too much and dropping them down. That has promoted Alan Palmarosa and Gianluca Palmarosa onto the podium steps. This will be, I believe, the first time that we have a father-son duo on the podium. So these two, fortunately, thanks to the likes of Marcus Frazen, having gone and being promoted up positions. Timothy Flynn in the bright current yellow Mercedes AMG of VNO. So Marcus Fraser from Regrini going from bad to worse for him. Rick Thomas, I believe. Yeah, that's Rick Thomas in the background. Rick Thomas stuck in 5th, not able to hunt down any of the racing snails. So Donny Bosch is the only one currently spoiling this little party, making it very difficult for the racing snails to claim podium 1, 2, and 3. Drama. Into the pits goes one of the car of Leon Swan, so that will promote some of the drivers up and over. And this will be the final stop for Leon Swan. How long will this Leon Swan stop be? Let's see. Pit stop will be when he's up on the jacks, or when he starts into the pits, as well as when he exits the pits. So it's about 30 seconds is a normal stop for tires to go onto the car. We'll see how long it takes. Leon Swan still currently in the pits. will be dropping even more. I think he's also trying to fix some of that damage. Accident for car 285 once again. 285. Dylan Pragi getting involved with car 72. Now car 72 is not one of our front runners, I believe. The car 72 is one of our back markers, and I do believe you do a bunch of squeaking noises. That is my boom arm doing a bit of needing some Q20. And into the wall, Dylan Pragi, not what he wanted to have for his race. Leon Swan still currently in the pits. This is quite a significantly long pit stop. He is fixing his car. I assume he might be fixing his car. I hope he's not throwing in the towel. I want him to go out there and still continue racing regardless of what happens. Let's see if we can hop on board. Car is switched off. Driver sitting in the car, still waiting. So far we only have had one retiree. The car drops, fires up, V10 screaming to life and rolling. Driver finally going out there and off of the pit limiter. Right now accelerating to race pace. Going there and getting it right now. Needs to be careful. Almost cutting across the dotted line. You can't exit pit lane over those lines. Otherwise you can be penalized for unsafe pit exit by the steward. Our race goes and penalizes you for real. Further up the field, Rick Thomas still hunting down the likes of Alexander Everingham. Alex hoping to get a better run out there. Alex has to project out a lot more. Donny Bosch though sitting pretty in third position, about 2 seconds clear of Alexander Everingham. You just see there, actually not 2 seconds, a bit more. Andrew Harris though hunting down the likes of his brother Kieran Harris, but the Racing Snails holding a firm lead over everyone else out there on the grid. Drivers need to play a bit of a smart choice in what they're going to do. As we enter the final 7 minutes and 20 seconds of the race, it is past 8 o'clock in Sim, 8:15 p.m. in the evening, 14 degrees still, sun is still shining high and bright. It is absolutely lovely weather out there. Cars are going to be running, especially the cool engines. The turbocharged engines will be absolutely loving the cooler air out here. Currently the fight though between father and son, Gianluca Pomerosa and Alan Pomerosa, Gianluca, of course, getting the better one there. But have to be careful. Rick Thomas is coming up on them. And I must say, some great lapping happening out here tonight on circuit at Circuit Zandvoort. Not usually you see that, where you see drivers lapping so much, but that is the nature of the circuit. Very small, very compact. Drivers just need to find the right way to get past any other one. Father-son holding formation, not making any risks or any moves. Jason Randall going and putting out there. For anyone wondering, Leon Swan's last stop, 1:40. So that was a stop that repaired damage on the car as well. Vernon Greeny last time also 1:24. So he also repaired some damage on the car. Normally run about a minute, maybe a sub-minute is the optimum time you want to spend in pit stop here. Currently at the back, Rick Thomas. Going to jump on board of him now as he is hunting down the likes of Alan Pomerosa. Nose cam is absolutely something else though. Absolutely, we love it. But of course this one, just look, if you want to see how the drivers are working, this is the camera we want to be on. Look at how they brake and how they use the feet in order to get the car to rotate, point in the right direction, and this is going to be a bit of a run. Now Alan is a blue flag. We do not follow F1 rules, meaning you have to get out of the way. However, Alan does make it a bit easier for the likes of Rick Thomas, as Rick said after. I want to get involved in that and getting some issues cleared there. So Rick Thomas now setting sights on getting past him and closing the gap to Alexander Everingham. Rick Thomas there, I do believe that's a BMW. The front that will be Gianluca Pomerosa. As you do look on the rear wing, making adjustments in the car there. There is Rick Thomas, closely followed by his dad. So he does not have anybody to fight with currently at this point in time, but he is still trying to do his best in an attempt to keep points rolling in for the team. There is still a team championship I believe also rolling here. I do not have those points just yet pulled up. Let me quickly work my little bit of magic to find the team totals here. We do have a yellow flag though, nobody between two in the final 5 minutes of the race. 5 minutes where my voice is not useless anymore, and I absolutely do love bringing some of the action to you guys out here in the virtual grandstand. Currently team standings, here we go. Gold currently leading the team standings. Snail Gold A leading with 480 points. Extreme Sim Racing second place with 400 points, and then the Greeny Motorsports in third place, wrapping up, well, pretty much the fight between Rapid, Raccoon Racing and a Greeny Motorsports for third place with only about 72 points, wrapping up that little battle there. For our Silver Championship, Team Championship though, Venom Works is leading the charge with 396 points, courtesy of Chantal Hansen and Paul all the way racing there. Paul still contributing, Paul LaRue, but Chantal contributing a larger point there. So well done, still a team sport between the two of them. And Snail Silver C is currently outclassing Snail Silver B by about 64 points, if my quick maths is working out here. So it's kind of a close one between all drivers, but it all goes towards championship fights. So it's not all wrapped up until the end of the season, but 3 minutes 15 to go. That is how things currently stand, ladies and gentlemen. Alexander Everingham still sitting pretty in fourth, Rick Thomas not able to close the gap down. Andrew Harris having pulled the gap over Donnie Bosch. So this has settled down. This will be our podium pretty much. Yellow flag out once again out on the circuit, driver going off and excusing. So it's going to be interesting to see how the drivers will be managing this and how they will be doing their part in this. But Fani Feliz and Jakob Priesel. Jakob Priesel being our second retiree, Fani Feliz our third retiree of the race. Keanu Westhuizen still driving around and circulating around on circuit. So well done to all drivers still completing it there. 2 minutes 35 to go. Drivers, I think, are having to bit exhaustion around this little bit of a technical circuit, Zandvoort. Very, very tricky to race. Very, very tricky to go. I'm not quite sure how that missed 9 plus 11. I know 9 plus 10 that equals 21, but 9 plus 11, I'm not 100% sure. And you can't retract that, but I saw that, Matt, no matter what you do. But really well done to all our drivers out there. Let's see which is the driver that is currently circulating as a yellow flag here. Currently no drivers in the pits, all drivers having completed their final stops. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes for round 7. 2 minutes to go, round 7 here at Zandvoort for our Gold and Silver GT3 Championship, proudly brought to you by EG Evolved Simulators. Contact them for all your simulator needs, whether it's flight or virtual racing. They will have you sorted, and if you go there, tell them RaceFace.Pro sent you, and they might be able to hook you up with something nice there to help you join us here on the grid for our next season of ACC racing. And if you don't like ACC but you still want to join us, we have R Racing as well as LMU, so be sure to check out those championships and head down to the description below to join us on the Discord channel, where anyone who's willing to help you out, get you sorted to go racing.
The leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
There we have final confirmation from Tim the cameraman saying, well, Tim the flag waver, Jim is our cameraman. Tim saying final lap for Kieran Harris from start to finish. Kieran Harris has been untouchable. Had a few scares with back markers getting his way and a few rubbing going on here. But Kieran Harris will be leading from green to checkered. Absolutely great racing so far from him. Will it be commentator's curse? We do not know. Everybody needs to pick their feet up off of the ground in an attempt to avoid any bad juju from getting sent the car's way of 420. But an astonishing drive happening from Kieran Harris, as well as his brother Andrew Harris. Andrew Harris doing some good work there in the back, followed closely by Donnie Bosch. But Kieran Harris has shown why he is going to be crowned the RaceFace GT3 champion, no matter what it takes. Rick Thomas, unfortunately, having an abysmal race, going and not going the way he wanted with some contacts earlier on in the race, forcing down. But that also goes for Chantal Hansen, our silver driver leader, and not going how it to be. As it currently stands, Rick Thomas will be dropping from second in the championship to third in the championship. That will completely remove him from any form of fight for the championship. Rounding the final corner, Kieran Harris goes and will be taking the lead and predominantly the championship victory for our AM Gold.
The leader has finished the
In
race.
second place, Andrew Harris, both on grid as well as in the champion standings. Andrew Harris goes, takes second position all the way from Rick Thomas to snatch a Harris podium 1-2 for the Racing Snails. In third position, we have Rapid Raccoon Racing. After some bad races in the past, we have a massive fight back from Dani Bosch, from 13th to 2nd, from DNF to 13th to DNF to 9th to 3rd. What a drive, what a drive. Dani Bosch goes round the final corner to secure 3rd place here at Zandvoort and scores a good chunk load of points for his championship hopes. Might not be much, but it will move him up in the championship. Finally, for our AM Silver, Jason Randall in the mighty Lexus, the oldest of all the cars on circuit, goes and claims victory in AM Silver after what he thought will not be possible. The mighty Lexus dragged itself over the start-finish line. Well done to that. And then in second place for our AM Silver, Jean-Luca Palmarosa. Great drive, followed by his dad, Alan Palmarosa. It's a Palmarosa 2-3, the first father-son duo to finish on the podium in our AM division. Well done to both those drivers. As we wait for the drivers to finish across the line, many of them will be turning back to the pits, but well done to many of our drivers. Many of them weaving across the line. Well done to all of them, and well done to them going across there. Now, as we wait for the drivers to make their way over to the commentary box, wow. What can we say, ladies and gentlemen? What can we say? It's Rapid Raccoon, Matt. Apologies if I did mention it incorrectly previously. It's Rapid Raccoon. So, really well done to these drivers out there for taking on such a technical track, such as Zandvoort, and able to go there. Let's see if we have any of the drivers hopping into the commentary box there as we watch some of the replays going around here for round 7 of our GT3 Sprint AM Gold and Silver. I do see some drivers making their way here. I will be pulling in the Harris brothers there, and then also, you know what, we've got a family affair going on in here in the commentary box. And I'm going to pull them both in. I'm pulling in both the Harris brothers here. Kieran and Andrew, the two brothers who is a force to be reckoned with out on the circuit. Welcome to the commentary box once again. It's great to have you guys back after 2 weeks hiatus from my side. And you guys picked up right where last time I saw you. Absolutely from start to finish. Well done, well done, well done. First, I'm going to start with the likes of Andrew. Now, Andrew, you had a drive and a half for yourself. You started in 3rd, I believe, and needed to go and fight your way up. Walk us through your race. How did you experience it, and how was it for you?
I started 5th, and first few corners just try to keep it clean, and then started putting some pressure on a bit later on through the race. So went really well, kept it clean. Dani put up a good fight. We were racing basically the whole race. Until a back marker and an unfortunate bit of a tail happy moment for Dani, and then that's where I went through. But that was a long race, hard fought. Congrats to everybody. Kieran, congratulations. And yeah, no, went well.
Well, some good sibling rivalry and love being shown between the two of you there. Now, Kieran, I think you can pretty much say that you are the fastest brother between the two of you. No matter what, undoubtedly, you are the fastest in that household. It is a bragging right. And you've pretty much sewn up the championship with Rick Thomas having his accident there. How does that feel? I might be speaking early, but you are the AM Gold GT3 champion.
I think we'll have to see. I think that it's still possible for him to beat me. But yeah, thanks.
Well,
hopefully he has a cleaner race for the next one. It was really good for the first few laps between Rick and myself. He was on my back bumper like Velcro or glue. I don't know what to say. He was on it for the first few laps. He was pushing me quite hard around the track. Yeah, hopefully he can avoid some incidents for the next one. It looked like he got tangled up in some back markers.
Well, I think with quick maths on the top of my head, yeah, it's 50 points for the victory. It was about 40-ish
I think
points
2
separate.
points for
For 2 points tonight for the fast lap,
fastest
correct.
lap.
You had the fast lap, so that's 2 points towards you, and 50 points for the victory. He did not get the results he wanted, so that's 50 points, extending that 30, 40-ish points though. So only thing that can maybe bring him in is if he wins next week and also gets fast lap and you not finish him. But even that, I think it will be quite close. I think it might be a fight between second and for second between himself and your brother, as those two, as both of them have swapped positions now, heading into the final round. Now,
Oh, okay.
it's my maths wasn't my strongest point on school. It's why I went into developing. It's not the best, but
Fair
we'll
enough,
see how
I
things go.
understand.
But thoughts going into the final race? Thoughts how you going to be preparing for this? Is it a bit after, of course, we get the results sorted? Will it be a different something else? Pressure elevated from your shoulders? How are you going to attack this, or how is it going to be?
I think I just need to keep it clean, keep it on the track, don't get tangled up in any back markers, and I think that should hopefully work out. But hopefully Rick is a bit more competitive in the next race as far as not getting tangled up in any back markers, and that should be a really good race then.
Oh, absolutely. You absolutely braced a phenomenal race. And yeah, next week we're heading to the Temple of Speed, home ground for the Lamborghini and Ferrari driver. It's a bit tricky of a track to not get tangled up with back markers, but I do think that you guys will be spending a lot of time with racing. I do hear from your team boss that it's your second last race in the white livery before earning your full yellow colors as Racing Snails.
Ah, that's nice.
Very true. Very
We'll have to
true.
see what the livery looks like next season.
Well, I have a hint it's going to be yellow. But other than
I
that,
believe so.
but other than that, I'm going to go, as we just saw on screen, the contact between the likes of Rick Thomas and Keanu Oosthuizen. Unfortunately, that is back marker. Unfortunately, bad contact there. So really bad luck for them. But I'm going to let you guys go. Go celebrate with your team. Go celebrate with your family as being pretty much crowned the GT3 AM Gold Championship. Champion here at RaceFace.Pro. So season 25, I believe. So well done to Kieran Harris for winning the championship, and well done to Andrew Harris for taking second so far in the championship. It's a close fight between himself and Rick Thomas. I'm going to let you guys go celebrate.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thanks
very much.
The Harris brothers going there and just celebrating a bit there with one another. Now, I'm going to bring in Donnie Bosch. Donnie had a very bad luck of run the last time I saw him, from 13th to 2nd to DNF to 13th to 2nd to DNF again. And he has fought his way back, having fought alongside the Harris brothers. Donnie Bosch, welcome to the commentary box once again. Happy to see you here in that Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. Walk us through the race. How did you experience it?
It was a nightmare. The last couple of laps I had the right front flat, so I was just hanging on there for dear life. So, and the blue flags was a nightmare. But yeah, that's all I have to say. It went better than I expected. So it's a win in my eyes.
Well, you did mention the trickiness of the blue flags, and that is what such a tight circuit such as Zandvoort does. It's not as wide as the one that we have in F1. It's a bit narrower in some of the banking, and you can carry as much speed. You have to do a lot of throttle modulation to get the car working through you. But other than that, you had a great race start. Had a good battle with Andrew Harris along with Alex Palmerosa, or Alex Everingham. So, is this something we'll be able to see from you again at Monza? I don't know how Monza is as a track for you. Is it a good track? Is it a bad track? How do you feel about going to Temple of Speed?
Yeah, I'm quite excited. It all depends on my network. The last couple of races I kept on disconnecting. So, but it looks like it's sorted out now. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there.
Oh, that's always good news to hear that that you got some connection stuff sorted out there. But I'm going to give you the mic. You are able to shout out anyone you want to. Give a shout out to anyone. Give a PG. You know the rules. Floor is yours, my man.
Thank you. Yeah, just a big shout out to the Rapid Recon Racing boys. Yeah, all the help they helped me during the week with setups and everything because I was struggling in the beginning. So yeah, that's all. Just a shout out to them.
So, quick question. I always say it's Rapid Raccoon. It's not Rapid Raccoon, it's Rapid Recon.
Yes, Recon.
Well, you guys will be always recruiters to me. I'm kidding, but now we know. So I have been speaking it wrong ever since I saw the name of the team. So apologies from my side to your team, but well done again on a well-deserved result. I'm going to let you go and celebrate with your team and enjoy the fruits of your hard-earned drive.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And then finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be bringing in the Palmarosa family. I know it is son and father. And everyone in chat's been fighting on that. So thank you for confirming it. So everyone in the virtual grandstand, I'm right, you're wrong. Trust the commentator, you guys are wrong. Anyway, welcome to the commentary box. Both of you, absolutely phenomenal. Now, Alan, I have a question. How does it feel to have your son beat you?
It's not lekker, but yeah, what can I do? I got to try and catch him. He's just faster than me. I can't do anything. I'm trying my damnedest. But I made up a little bit of pace now. So hopefully in the next coming season or something, I can give him a bit more of a run. But yeah, he's just faster than me, man. I can't keep up with him.
Well, fast is definitely something, but also I do think that you have an excuse. I mean, you are a dad. You already had a kid. It comes with the territory. My own teammates are all dads, so they are always slower, and they say, "I wait until I'm a dad, then I'm going to be slow." But then I say, I'm already an uncle, so I'm already slow. So it's all. I think you have an excuse. You just say that's because you're a dad, so you get let loose off of that one. But Jean-Luca, now jumping over towards you, you had the victory in the palm of your hand at the beginning.
Yeah.
What happened? And don't blame commentators because everyone in the virtual grandstand is blaming me for that, and I didn't even show you on camera.
I won't lie. It is commentators' curse. I had two near perfect runs when there was no stream for us. And I don't know, it's just when there's a stream, I guess I can't hold it together.
The funny thing is he called it during the race. He said, I bet you changed to me. I've just gone off the track.
I didn't.
Commentator
I actually only changed you when I saw on my timing sheet that you were noted for an incident. So I wash my hands of any guilt. I blame the grandstands.
Yeah. No, I think I was pushing a bit hard, and then I think I just fried my back tires a bit. I had to actually turn my brake bias up during the race because under the brakes my car was just horrible. I flipping kept losing the back, but yeah, I mean, I guess it is what it is. Still more races to come, more seasons to come, so.
No, absolutely. Well, you're currently still fighting for a top step in the podium. It's a bit of a fight now with Chantal dropping, having had that earlier incident with Leon Swan. So she's didn't score as much points, so that gap might be closing down. So it will be going to the final round of the championship, though. So all is to play for still for you and Chantal Hansen. I can't work out on the top of my head, but for my calculations, it's quite close. So don't throw the towel just yet.
Yeah, I think this race closed the gap a bit. I mean, the gap was massive. I mean, she's just been absolutely dominating in the silvers. She was like 90 points ahead of me. So, I mean, unless there's another bad incident next week, I just have to fight off this Randall guy because he's closing in on my second place.
Well, the mighty Lexus will always be there no matter what, no matter how old it is, being replaced by the Toyota Supra, I believe is the word. I'm not 100% sure. In real world racing, virtual racing, we still have it. That's the beauty of virtual racing. But I want to have both your thoughts. Heading towards Monza, Temple of Speed. It's a circuit renowned to suit the long body format of the McLaren, meaning that the McLaren will be quite fast there if suited is set up correctly. But also the BMW, it could just rock over those curbs. Is that something that you're going to develop your cars to work in your strength, or is it going to be something being a bit difficult?
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely try. I mean, the McLaren's got good speed if you can get it set up right, but for me, it's been a handful. But that's just me. That's not as good a driver. But yeah, we'll give it a go. It'll be fun. I'm really enjoying this sim racing overall. And you guys are doing a spectacular job. I just want to say thank you to RaceFace as well. It's a really well-run league. And your commentary's on point, Cameron. Well done, man. We enjoy watching your streams.
Well, I can't take all the credit. All that goes towards a great mentor and friend that I have that's running all the other pro stuff and him keeping me in check. But we always like to bring in, to bring in the new talent from the AM side, and hopefully next season we're able to give you all 8 races for you guys and not just a few of them. But Gianluca, Alan, we're going to give you the mic. Gianluca, you're going to have... no, wait. We're going to give it to your dad. Alan, you're going to have the mic. You can shout out anyone, give a thanks to anyone. Of course, PG, that's the only thing that we have in the commentary box. Mike's yours, floor's yours, and then directly after that, Gianluca, you can take over from your dad.
Oh, we wanna thank our virtual grandstand fans, Dave and Matthew, always there shouting for us and cheering us on. Not so much me, but more the Pomerozas, the other Pomerozza and the Harrises, and even Alex as well. Yeah, so shout out to them, and we're going to see them in the next season. They'll be here.
Yeah, and then just in terms of the question earlier, I'm actually quite excited for Monza just because it's one of the tracks in the season that I've had a good amount of practice on, especially in the BM. It's in fact Monza's the reason I switched to the BM from the McLaren. But yeah, other than that, I'm just excited for the last race. Hopefully, can just hold in the second place in the championship, and then yeah, on to the next season.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys tackle Monza for our final round in the RaceFace.Pro GT3 Silver Championship. And I'm gonna be missing you guys because I do know that Gianluca, you and Chantal will be bumping up into the Gold category because of where you guys finished. I do know that for a reason. But I'm gonna let you guys go celebrate. You guys deserve it, and I'm looking forward to you guys in Italy. And I might be corrected. You guys can correct me. It will be like a home race for you.
Yeah.
Yes,
There we go.
It will be.
It will be a home race
Thank
for you
you.
guys. Well done, congratulations, and go enjoy the rest of your evening.
Ciao.
Thank
Ciao.
you.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Ciao.
That is the Palmarosa family going and celebrating a podium at 2-3. And we have Jason Randall joining me. Just heard him there saying hello, hello. Eager to get on the mic and share his victory in the mighty Lexus. Must say, absolute beauty to see that car cross the line, Jason. Well done, well done, well done. That's all I can say. A car that is not on par with the new generation GT3s, and yet you're still able to get it into first place. Walk us through this race.
I'm just as amazed as you, honestly. It's only my second season, so I'm still learning the car and everything, but yeah, I didn't expect it, honestly.
Well, that's what they say. Expectation makes the victory even more sweeter. So, I mean, you had a good pace at the start, and then fortunately fell back, couldn't keep up with Chantal Hansen and the likes of Gianluca Pomerosa. However, Lady Luck smiled upon thee in the Japanese manufactured car, going and absolutely just keeping it clean and snatching that victory. It must feel great. I mean, this closes the fight for second a lot more, and also brings in the champion fight because of Chantal Hansen's incident. It closes that gap a lot more. Maybe not for you, but for Gianluca, but it still throws you to upset Gianluca a bit when it comes to Monza.
As long as I'm happy, as long as I'm in third place, honestly, I'm happy with that. The whole goal for Monza is going to be to survive. That's about it.
That is true. Monza is quite a tricky one, Temple of Speed being a very tricky track, but it will also be a track that will suit your car. The Lexus having known for a lot of his long straights, or the strength, his top speed over the straight is absolutely unmatched. So I do believe you will be able to pull a lot from it there. So we have we will hold our thumbs, we'll hope for the best, and then we'll see how that goes. But from your side, anything you want to say, any final thoughts, shout outs, challenges, even though it's a final round? Mike's yours, go for it.
A couple shout outs, honestly. I want to say thank you to Keegan and Jack Darts in the Pro-Am, and Adam, of course, for all of the support and everything. And that's it. Anyone else that might have been watching and showing support for me in the race.
Well, thank you
Hopefully
very
Monza
much.
is a great race.
That's what we will be opening for, because yes, even though we all have our favorites, I have to be impartial. I'm the commentator. We all have our favorites. We always hope to see a close championship fight no matter what until the very, very end. So well done to Jason Randall in the mighty Lexus RCF GT3 for going and showing that all dogs can still cross the finish line first. Well done, Jason. I'm going to let you go celebrate with the team, and well done on a hard-fought victory.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Now, I want to bring in the likes of Rick Thomas.
Hello.
Do I need to say more about tonight's race?
No.
I mean, it's gut-wrenching. This has pretty much shifted your entire focus from championship title to second place attack, with you and Andrew switching positions.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I really wasn't expecting to be in the commentary box now. I was just chilling with the guys.
Now, if you come to my interview room, you're going to get pulled in and mic'd up no matter what.
Yeah, but yeah, it happens, I guess. I don't think I've seen the first days in the round before this race. So, and he looks pretty new. So, I mean, I can give him that. Doesn't probably know all the rules yet or isn't comfortable. And as I was telling the guys down there, you know, I take some of the blame to it, as I didn't brake, or I just took avoiding action to the right track, and we still collided. So, I mean, I could have done more, I think, from my side as well.
Unfortunately, Keanu Westhuizen, being a very new driver, only joining earlier this week with the likes of Timothy Fullion. So unfortunately, it is not the circuit where you want a new driver to learn, but we all have to start somewhere. But I spoke earlier with John Luca on in the Am Silver, well, actually Alan, who's driving a McLaren also, heading to Monza. It is a circuit that benefits speed, as well as the McLaren with its long body. McLaren should be able to just glide over the curbing if set up right. Is that something that you will be focusing on in order to get the car just performing on all cylinders? Or do you have a little bit of secret sauce up your sleeve by throwing nitroglycerin within the engine?
Well, we'll see. The problem with long straights is the Mustangs have so much raw power. I found, like, especially now in Zandvoort, I kept pace with them quite easily since the McLaren is so nippy to the corners. Even though it's fast, it's not as fast on the straights. So we'll see. I'm not sure what to expect from Monza. It's the first time in a long time in Monza with the McLaren. Previous two races was in a BM and a Ferrari. So we'll see how the McLaren treats me.
If there's going to be something to watch with the Ferrari not being any more of a choice, man, now going to the McLaren. But I can promise you, McLaren is quite a strong one the last time I drove within ACC, and it is quite one, as we just see on circuit, the incident involving yourself and Westhuizen, unfortunately. Bit of a rough one, but it is one of those. Just happy that you didn't have any lasting steering wheel damage on the car and able to still fight it out there. But Rick Thomas, I'm going to give you the floor. You are our last guest. I'm going to give you the mic. Any shout out, anything you want to say? It's all on you.
Oh, well, just shout out to all my team and congrats to where everybody finished. And the pro side, I think Harriman did very well on the pro division. He said he did a great race. I didn't check the positions yet, but just shout out to the team. And yeah, Andrew and I and Alex fighting for P2 and 3 in championship. Next week it's on.
Bit of a challenge going out there to Andrew Harris. I hope they are listening, or they might be watching this back. But really well done again on a fight. It's not the way you wanted to end the evening. However, it is still up for grabs until the very, very end. I'm going to let you go. Go celebrate your team. Go celebrate your pro results. And I'm going to let you go. Have a good one, Rick Thomas. And thank you for joining us here in the commentary box.
Cheers.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wrote. That will be it for tonight. I want to thank you all again for joining me tonight here in the virtual grandstand, for allowing me to into your living rooms and keeping you company all the way here into the late hours of the evening. It's been an absolute blast to be back. I've missed you all. It's great to be back. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds, for what next week holds, and how that race is going to be playing out. All up to grabs for our AM Gold and AM Silver. It might not be for the championship in our AM Gold, but it's still for the top steps. All to play for, all to win and lose. It's all on the cards. We're heading over to Monza in the beautiful country of Italy, Temple of Speed, home of the Forza Ferrari, home of the Tifosi. Pretty much what can be described as my third home race, being South African and Portuguese, and then also having an Italian brother-in-law. So, all I can say is make sure you know how to make pasta if you are flying over with me to Monza, to make sure that it is al dente and not overcooked. And also, don't break your spaghetti before you get there, because you might get your visa completely shut down. From my side, Cameron de Bastos and the likes of THD Production, I want to say thank you all for joining me, and for everyone here at RaceFace.Pro, I want to say thank you again for tuning in, and to all our drivers out there for giving us such a phenomenal show. And then once again, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, EG Evolve Simulators, for everything simulator related, whether it's flying or racing. They are the shop to be at to get you into the sport. If you want to join us, head on down to the description to the Discord, where you'll find all the information you want to. Next week, we will not be having any iRacing racing on the Tuesday. It is our off week. And then on Wednesday, it's our final round for our LMU Championship, a battle that's also going on there into the very, very final round as we head to Bahrain. And then finally, of course, I can't forget, our ACC Championship heading all the way to Monza, where anything can be settled. But if you do want to join us, do head down to the description again and follow us in the Discord, as we have lots of races to come through, and shortly soon, maybe even longer formats making their way to the top. From our side, again, thank you very much, and I wish you all a fantastic evening, and I wish you nothing but the best. From our side, good evening, good morning, and good night, and yes, I'm stealing that from my co-commentator. Have a good one, everybody.